What about Ornette Coleman? How was it to work with Ornette?
Oh, it's beautiful. 18 years old, going on the road with him for 2 weeks, and supposed to be going for 2 weeks, and wound up staying in New York for 6 months. 18 years old, living in Paris, 6 months, with Ornette, and studying with him, recording with him, some of the first primetime records, and he was like a mentor. And like I was explaining to you that they had 2 celebrations for Ornette Coleman. One was in Philadelphia, where I did something. I invited Wolfgang Pushnik to come over. Tony Kofi came over, and I had a pianist named Yoichi Uzeki on piano, and Asha Puthli, the vocalist, the Indian vocalist who sung with Ornette in 1968 on a record called, an album called Science Fiction, was a piece on there called What Reason Could I Give? And she had never sung that piece live before. They did it in the studio with Ornette Coleman, Dewey Redman, and Ed Blackwell, and and Charlie Hayden, and they never did that recording live. Live. And so it was an opportunity. I called her up. She lives in California. Called her up, and she says, "Listen, I would love to do it." And so she came to Philadelphia, and we did that performance, and that was good. And so it was Donardo Coleman's Ornette's son. He played with his band, and then I played with my band. And then they had another. That was in Philadelphia. Then they had another celebration for Ornette Coleman in New York. And there they had Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Patti Smith, Yoko Ono was there, I think. There was a lot of people that was there from the whole New York scene that was there. So it was really nice. Yeah.
Great musician, Ornette.
Yeah, Ornette Coleman is an unbelievable creative individual and a great human being. A lot of things I've learned from him in terms of how to band, for one, how to be a band leader, and to be strong without being overly, overbearing, and kind of demanding and commanding respect from the other musicians just by being a kind of respectful guy that you would want to lead them into battle, that they will respect you, and you don't have to do anything extra except just to be yourself, to get that kind of respect from them. And I found that out quite early. All the bands I've had, I've always treated the guys with respect and love and understanding and sensitivity. And, I've been able to get, the best performances out of the guys. Like Tony Kofi told me, says, Jamal, you was the first one that got me playing the tenor saxophone, because when we did the record with Ornette, I had Wolfgang come and Ornette played alto. But I didn't want, all those guys were Tony and Wolfgang were both saxophone players, but I didn't want them to play saxophone, like alto saxophone. So Wolfgang came and he only played flute and this instrument called a hojak, which is a Korean instrument, and Tony came and played the tenor saxophone. And so he said that this was the first time that he had really played the tenor saxophone. And every time I see him, he goes, "Oh, thank you, man, for let me play the tenor saxophone." I say, that's cool, But
so Ornette was very important for that.
Yeah.
He was a unique. He's a unique individual, a unique artist. His sound was, brought a lot of controversy with it.
Right, exactly. And I understand how he's been able to have the kind of consistency that he's had, because he just stuck to his guns. He didn't, sort of just kind of fall to the wayside or be intimidated.
He didn't back down, did he?
Yeah, he didn't back down, and he had his own groups, and that's why he had his own groups. He couldn't really play with anybody else. He could play with them, but they didn't want him to play.
Yeah.
And he probably wanted to play with somebody else, but like he always does. You can go to his loft in New York, and he just wants to play with you, all day long and all night, And but other people weren't seeing it that way.